Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to dive into a tragic and disturbing story that shook the Netherlands and made headlines across Europe in 2021, the death of 27-year-old Carlo Heuvelman during a vacation in Mallorca. His death brought forward troubling questions about violence, accountability, and justice. Let's go through this case step by step. To set the scene, it's July 2021. Carlo Heuvelman, a young Dutch man from Waddinxveen, is on vacation with friends in El Arenal, Mallorca. El Arenal is a popular party town known for its nightlife and attracts many tourists, especially young people looking for a summer getaway. Around the same time, a separate group of young Dutch men from Hilversum, another town in the Netherlands, were also on vacation there. Little did anyone know, a deadly encounter was about to unfold. In the early hours of July 14th, tensions reached a boiling point. Around 2 a.m., a violent fight broke out along the boulevard in El Arenal. Witnesses describe it as chaotic, with groups shouting, punches being thrown, and people running. Among those involved was Carlo Heuvelman, who had been walking with friends. According to reports and later court testimony, a group of Dutch men from Hilversum attacked Carlo and his friends. The violence escalated when Carlo was allegedly kicked in the head, even as he lay defenseless on the ground. Witnesses say he was subjected to repeated, brutal blows. The attack left Carlo severely injured. He was rushed to a local hospital, where he fought for his life for several days. Sadly, on July 18th, he succumbed to his injuries. Back home in the Netherlands, Carlo's death sparked public outrage. As news of the brutal attack spread, people were left asking, how could this happen? His family was devastated, and the Dutch media quickly picked up on the story. The brutality of the attack, which took place in a tourist hotspot, shocked not only the Netherlands but also Spain. Meanwhile, Spanish police launched an investigation, working alongside Dutch authorities due to the nationality of the suspects. The investigation would quickly focus on a group of young Dutch men from Hilversum who had allegedly been involved in a series of violent altercations throughout their stay in Mallorca. As the investigation unfolded, Dutch authorities took over the case, allowing for easier handling of evidence, suspects, and witnesses back in the Netherlands. Over the next few weeks, several young men, all around 18 to 20 years old, were identified as suspects. Some were detained, while others were questioned about their involvement. The case was complex. Since the incident had taken place in Spain, gathering evidence and interviewing witnesses across borders posed challenges. However, multiple eyewitnesses came forward to describe the chaotic scene. Some witnesses recalled seeing Carlo being kicked while lying on the ground, emphasizing the brutality of the attack. There were even rumors of videos taken on the night of the incident, which could potentially provide crucial evidence. Fast forward to 2022. The suspects were brought to trial in the Dutch court in Lelystad, facing serious charges, including manslaughter, aggravated assault, and, for some, public violence. Carlo's family attended the trial, seeking answers and justice for the loss of their loved one. The courtroom was filled with emotion as witnesses recounted the events of that fateful night. The prosecution argued that the suspects, particularly two of the young men, were responsible for Carlo's fatal injuries. They contended that the suspects' actions were deliberate and that Carlo was attacked in a vulnerable position. Disturbingly, the prosecution suggested that some suspects took part in the assault without any remorse, reflecting a complete disregard for the harm they caused. The defense, on the other hand, argued that the events were more complex, pointing to alcohol consumption, a chaotic atmosphere, and possible self-defense claims. Some suspects denied involvement in Carlo's injuries, while others claimed they only took part in the initial confrontation. In the end, the court handed down a range of sentences. Two of the main suspects received substantial prison terms. One was sentenced to 7 years, while another received 6 years. Other members of the group received lighter sentences, community service, or probation for lesser involvement in the fight. For Carlo's family, while the sentences brought some closure, they also left lingering questions about youth violence, the influence of alcohol, and the role of bystanders. Could this tragedy have been prevented? Should there be more measures in place to protect young travelers in tourist destinations? The death of Carlo Heuvelman sparked a broader discussion about violence among youth and the dark side of party tourism. Dutch officials expressed concern over the rise of alcohol-related violence and the need for stricter controls in high-traffic tourist areas like Mallorca. The case also highlighted how quickly violence can escalate and the devastating consequences it can have on families and communities. It serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers of group mentality and aggression, and it has urged both tourists and authorities to consider measures to prevent such tragedies in the future. The story of Carlo Heuvelman's death is heartbreaking. A young man lost his life on what should have been a joyful holiday. His family, friends, and community will forever feel his absence, and the pain of that loss will remain with them. The case has left a mark, challenging us all to think about responsibility, respect, and the need for justice. Thank you for listening, and let's hope that Carlo's story serves as a call to action against senseless violence.